Welcome everyone to the March 26th meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. Would you please join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm Barb Lewis, Vice President, and with me is fellow Commissioner Jeff Benton, our clerk Jennifer Walraven, and the vivacious Dawn is here.
Vivacious.
She is our Deputy Administrator. We can begin.
Resolution number 18-310, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held March 22nd, 2018.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-310. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment or elected official comment today, so that brings us to item number 4, resolution number 18-311, in the matter of approving purchase orders, sending out certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CMAPR 0323 and memo transfers in batch number MTAPR 0323.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-311. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-312, in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-312. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-313, in the matter of accepting and approving the Delaware County Sheriff's Office transfer report for the month of February 2018.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-313. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-314, in the matter of declaring the board's opinion regarding the vacation of a never-improved unnamed alley located east of County Road 605 near Hartford Road and County Road 605 in Trenton Township, and setting date, time, and place for the view and final hearing thereon.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-314. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-315, in the matter of approving the First Amendment to the contract between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, the Delaware County Department of Job and Family Services, and Speak Right LLC for verbal transcription services.
So moved.
Second. Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. David Dombrowski with Job and Family Services. This contract is used by our social workers. What they do is, rather than typing case notes, they make a phone call to Speak Right, who then types out what they're saying, and then we cut and paste it into case notes, which makes their job more efficient, and then they spend less time on that type of work and more time directly with kids. So this is a one-year extension on that contract.
Vote on motion 18-315. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-316, setting date and time for requests for proposals for comprehensive case management employment program for Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Acts, Youth Services, Delaware County Department of Job and Family Services.
So moved.
Second. Discussion.
Yes, so through Area 7, which is our Workforce Investment Board, we have a sub-area normally known as DKMM, which is Delaware, Knox, Morrow, and Marion counties. And every 2 years, we have to go out and release a bid for our youth services. Knox County opted out this year because they're moving in a different path, but Delaware, Morrow, and Marion are looking to release this bid. So this is $140,000 per year for all of the youth service elements required through the Workforce Innovation and Opportunities Act.
What's the history been on this one, Dave?
I'm sorry?
What's the history working on with CCMEP?
So CCMEP just came into existence 2 years ago, but the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act has been around in its various iterations. It was WIA before that. It was JTPA long before that. So we have one youth provider here in the county that we have RFP'd for in the past, and they do a pretty good job with our kids. We have met 7 of the 9 performance measures around the We Owe a Youth program. 2 years ago, the state incorporated Ohio Works First into the mix. That's a funding stream through the state. And so this now works with kids between the ages of 16 to 24. Last year, they changed that to 14 to 24. In general, we don't work with a whole lot of 14 or 15-year-olds. It tends to be the 16 to 24 population.
State or federal federal funding for this?
So the Ohio Works First is federal funding. It's TANF funding that's the state passes through, and the WIOA money is all federal funds.
Vote on motion 18-316. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
Resolution number 18-317, in the matter of approving the Title IV-D contract between the Child Support Enforcement Agency and the Delaware County Domestic Court.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Joyce Bones, Director of Child Support. This is the last of our annual 4D contract with our county partner, the Domestic Court. It's so that we can seek federal reimbursement for the magistrate's time to hear child support hearings, and I'm requesting your approval.
This is similar to what we've done as well in the past.
Yes.
Vote on motion 18-317. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joyce.
Resolution number 18-318, in the matter of approving a transfer of appropriations for juvenile court.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Karen Watkins, Fiscal Coordinator for the Juvenile and Probate Court. This appropriations is transferring some funds from the 2018 equipment line into capital expenses. We are building an office upstairs in our probate court for our Guardianship Visitor Program Coordinator. The funds for the capital expenses are for modular wall installation and purchase.
Vote on motion 18-318. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-319, in the matter of approving a contract between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, the Delaware County Juvenile Probate Court, and Emma Jacobs for providing assessments and consultation for a juvenile sex education program.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Ms. Jacobs will be providing youth assessments and consultations with our Ms. Profato from Maryhaven to manage the program. This is for youth offenders that have been involved in sexting and harassment. So it's not the more stringent program that we are currently running, but more of a sex ed course for proper boundaries and understanding the consequences to their actions.
Vote on motion 18-319. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-320, in the matter of approving the agreement between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, the Delaware County Juvenile Probate Court, and Maryhaven Incorporated for providing mental health counseling services for victims of crime.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
This is an agreement with Maryhaven to provide the counseling not only to the victims of crime, but also to their families. We've put in to our VOCA project $10,000 to provide this counseling.
Very important.
Absolutely.
Vote on motion 18-320. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that we are on page 725 now. Resolution number 18-321, in the matter of approving the purchase of ballistic body armor safety protection gear for the Emergency Medical Services Department.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Chief Schuling, County EMS. This measure before you this morning is highly recommended by our department. Our current body armor, ballistic armor, and had you asked me 20 years ago if I would be standing before you today asking for this protection, I would have said not in a million years. But obviously, with the things that have taken place across our country, our first responders at a much greater risk. We've attempted multiple grants to find funding for this and other solutions to which we've been turned down because, again, nationwide, this is such an issue. To that end, we're requesting your approval to purchase the body armor and ballistics armor for the first responders of Delaware County EMS. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Yes, I think this is very necessary, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, it's necessary.
We weren't able, nothing was budgeted for this.
We have budgeted this for the last 3 years. However, due to other issues and constraints, we had to cut that from the budget to fund other projects that were, I hate to say, more pressing. However, with the recent issue that we had earlier last month with the police officer shooting, we had 3 vests that were compromised while the employees were donning them or putting them on. So it's becoming more and more evident that as this gear fails, it puts our people at a much greater risk. So we've tried every possible solution available, so hence why we're requesting the supplemental on this. I've worked with Mr. Killey with this, and hopefully we'll try to make some concessions throughout the year in other projects to offset this.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-321. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Resolution number 18-322, in the matter of approving an amendment to the sanitary sewer subdividers agreement for courtyards at South Section Line Road.
So moved.
Second discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag with the Regional Sewer District. The purpose of this amendment is to allow the pump station to continue to function now that it is operational so that it can convey flows into the downstream sewer system. This is a condo development that's located off of South Section Line Road.
And you're comfortable with this interim
I am,
setup?
yes. We've seen the pump station be operational for a few days now. As they continue to work towards finalizing the grading of the site and the exterior of the building and things like that, we're comfortable that the station itself runs well. And currently, all the risk and liability will be on the developer since we haven't actually approved the station yet. So we're just allowing them to continue to run it at their own risk.
Yeah, and that's been conveyed to them that this is at their risk, so I'm sure they understand that.
Yeah, actually, their phone number is the one that gets called in the middle of the night if there's any issues, so.
Even better.
They'll be well aware.
All right.
Vote on motion 18-322. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
That brings us to administrator reports.
I have a couple items. First, I'd like to give a shout out to Pam Sonageri. She recently received the certification as a labor relations professional with the National Public Employer Labor Relations Association. And she took a 2-hour grueling exam in order to receive that. And only about half of the people that took the exam passed. So very excited for her that she received that. And then Jenna Jackson, our economic development coordinator, recently received her certification as an economic developer, and that is through the International Economic Development Council. So excited for both of them that they have received those coveted certifications.
Great. Oh, thank you.
That's all I have.
All right.
Yeah, congratulations to both of them.
Commissioner Benton.
Just a few things. We did meet with a couple of our legislators, Representatives Carfagna and Brenner, Friday. You know, I don't think there are any real big surprises at the State House right now. Did talk to them about the Board of Education indigent funding being taken over by the state in exchange for losing the local government fund. Did I say education again?
Yeah. That's okay.
It's just your consistency.
Hit me before I do it next time.
Yeah.
So I'll know. Board of Elections and I did it again. Indigent defense in exchange for the local government fund. They were not even aware of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. So
my
so it
gosh.
actually hasn't been introduced,
Okay.
which is what I discovered. I didn't know what stage of the legislation process it was. So right now it's just being promoted and discussed behind the scenes. So again, I think that greatly decreases the likelihood that this will advance to be legislated.
Ah, that's interesting.
So, yeah, neither one of them had heard anything about it.
Knew anything about it. Okay.
And it's being done by a couple legislators out of western Ohio who are
Okay.
in Allen County and they're promoted through the CCAO. So, again, we'll see how that goes. But it's an interesting idea, but, you know, we'll see what goes forward. One other thing, I did see in the dispatch that we are the fastest growing county after all. It all depends on what time frame.
Okay.
We are the fastest growing county from 2010 through 2017.
Okay.
But we weren't in 2017. We were the second fastest. So again, it's just a matter of which time frame you use. But we grew at 14.5% in that time period. Franklin County grew 10.8, and Union was 8.3. So we, in that time period, we are the fastest growing. So it just depends on what time you want to talk about.
Yes.
Also found out over the weekend with some material, just checking up on some things, that the West Star Hotel is expected to be substantially complete by the end of March.
Where now? Is
That's
that
the one in West Star, or it's the Renaissance Hotel in West Star.
Oh, it's the Renaissance.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in Westerville, and that's
Okay.
going to be substantially complete by the end of March and open shortly thereafter. So that's a really nice regional draw for us, for the whole region. So very good. And I know the Finance Authority had a huge role in getting that done.
They did.
And I want to compliment them. Lastly, the Frozen Four is set. Ohio State is going to the Frozen Four. So we're very happy for Ohio State that they're going to be in the NCAA Ice Hockey Championship.
Ice hockey. All right.
Yeah, and one other team that made it was Michigan. So this will be interesting. Ohio State and Michigan both in the Frozen Four. This is good. I did check. Oklahoma didn't make it. Just wondered where they stood in NCAA hockey. They weren't even in the tournament. Just saying.
Do they have any? Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, and then congratulations to Jane as well. Villanova made it to the Final Four, the basketball Final Four. So we're very happy for Jane and party at Jane's on Saturday night. So she's or not. Oh, shoot. Okay. That's all I got.
Okay. There was an article on land banks and all their, this is from the National Association of Counties, and how they can really benefit local communities, that ability to quickly settle delinquent tax bills. And they mentioned Toledo and what they had done up in Toledo with a blighted area and converting that into a good area. And it said, Ohio generates land bank funding from a fee paid by tax delinquent property owners, making their land banks the envy of other states. And every land bank makes a decision about what kind of properties it's going to focus on. And I'm sure, that would vary by
Good for them.
the membership on the board, but we're moving along in that direction. The White House has announced, this is March 19th, received this again from NACO, National Association of Counties, and White House has announced a three-pronged initiative to combat opioid epidemic. And I know that in this omnibus budget, this big budget that was just passed, there's
Billions.
Yeah, was it 60 billion?
I heard $6 billion.
Or 6.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a big difference. But a lot of billions.
A lot of money.
Right, have been allocated to fight the opioid crisis. One other article that I ran across, there was a Senate has been looking at the devastation caused by opioids and came up with some interesting figures. Opioid manufacturers paid $10 million to advocacy groups promoting the use of the painkiller, they're talking about OxyContin here, since 2012, according to a new Senate report. So Senate's looking at this, a lot of attention nationally, as we have in the state and county on this. So, and that's all I have.
We do not have anything
No need
else.
for executive session.
All right. Therefore, we are adjourned.
All right.